What's up guys, I'm Dean and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Great to see you guys again. So, that was a weird thing to say, Dean. So, Obi-Wan Kenobi, the Disney Plus TV show, it has now finished and I want to talk about it because like literally everybody else on the internet ever, I have opinions about it that I feel inclined to share. So spoilers for the entire thing. I'm not going to bother with non-spoilers because it's been out for a while now, and I'm just going to go through my overall thoughts of it, my thoughts on all the different characters and that sort of thing. And I think Kenobi's biggest flaw was its marketing, to be honest, which might seem like a bit of a daft thing to say because I don't think it was that bad. I think people had just overhyped it, and then when it came out they were just underwhelmed because they came up with such a big idea for it in their mind which wasn't delivered upon. I think if the show was marketed as just a fun little adventure with Obi-Wan Kenobi trying to say Leia and Hayden Christensen's there as Darth Vader, then I think that would have sold a lot better because people had kind of misconstrued from the marketing that this was going to be some massive epic with Hayden Christensen showing up every episode and Obi-Wan Kenobi and them fighting every other week, which didn't happen, and I'm fine with that, to be honest. You've got to remember, the original plan for Obi-Wan Kenobi was that it was going to be a movie, and the movie was going to be about Obi-Wan Kenobi defending Luke Skywalker from the Tusken Raiders, and that was going to be it. There was going to be no space adventure and young Leia and Darth Vader and awesome duels. So I preferred what we got to the idea that was originally planned because I enjoyed seeing Darth Vader again. Darth Vader's great. He's threatening, he's menacing, and he worked well here as a threat, and I enjoyed all of that. I think some of the action was shot weirdly, but a lot of the action did really work for me. I think there were a lot of forgettable characters, but I'm not opposed to that massively for reasons I'll get into. And, you know, overall, I just think there were some weak episodes and some stronger episodes, as you would expect. You know what? Why don't we just go through the characters one by one? And let's start with which character should we start with in Obi-Wan Kenobi? Let's start with Obi-Wan Kenobi, shall we? I enjoyed Obi-Wan's growth in this show, and I loved seeing Ewan McGregor again, and I loved his hair, and I think all of this stuff kind of worked. It was very, sorry to bring up a very controversial movie, it was very The Last Jedi Obi-Wan Kenobi in this. His growth from not wanting to help to helping again and bringing himself back into the Force and learning to trust others thanks to the help of a young lady. That's kind of what happens in The Last Jedi, sort of. And it worked here for Obi-Wan Kenobi. I think this was an important step for his character in between Revenge of the Sith and A New Hope, from how he became guilt-ridden and ashamed of what he did with Anakin to not blaming himself and being quite open to the idea in A New Hope, even going as far as calling Darth Vader Darth in Obi-Wan in A New Hope instead of Anakin. And I think that was an important step, and I think it was done well. I really loved his relationship with young Leia. I loved the back and forth they had, and I liked their final scene where he talked about their parents. I loved how terrified he was of Darth Vader when he first appeared and when he found out Anakin was still alive. That worked brilliantly, and I just loved all of that sort of thing. And the confrontations with Darth Vader were beautiful. I think I'll get more into them later. Yeah, I enjoyed Ewan McGregor again. Seeing his face, he was always the best part of the prequels, and I don't really like the prequels. Obi-Wan Kenobi was better than all the prequels. This was better than all of them. They're not that great. If you want to hear me talk about the first two prequels, I talked about them on my podcast, though. You can click up there for either one of them. Just, you know, chucking a sneaky plug. The other character to talk about is, of course, Darth Vader, and I think they used him just the right amount. I wouldn't have wanted to see any more of him. I could have done with more flashbacks to, like, Clone Wars era flashbacks, but let's be honest, flashbacks are just filler. Everyone's being like, oh, there weren't enough flashbacks, and this episode was just filler. Flashbacks are filler. Can you not remember everyone complaining about that with the Book of Boba Fett? Anyway, that is unimportant, but Vader was scary and threatening and really intimidating, which is exactly what you want from Darth Vader. In that first fight, he was brutal and unforgiving, and when he grabbed that ship out of the sky was awesome. His fight with Reva, the second best fight in the show without a doubt, because just how he just absolutely schooled her, just one-handed with not even igniting his own lightsaber. Loved all of that. And that last fight. He absolutely destroyed Obi-Wan, and then Obi-Wan absolutely destroyed him. Just the bit he just bashed into his control panel in his chest, and then the mask opened. We all knew the mask was going to open. But that moment was just so beautiful. Just him going, "You didn't kill Anakin Skywalker. I did. This isn't your fault, Obi-Wan." And then Obi-Wan's like, "Okay, my friend's truly dead. Bye, Darth." And he leaves. And then you just get the chilling screams of Anakin Skywalker shouting, "Obi-Wan!" Sorry, I didn't mean to do it myself. But it was wonderful. That fight. What a way to end the series. And I think this show was an important step for Darth Vader because it kind of turned him from the angry, vengeful guy we know from Revenge of the Sith to the measured and calm guy we know from A New Hope. Because when he sees Obi-Wan next in A New Hope, he isn't angry, he isn't blowing stuff up and pushing him into fire. He's calm and he's collected and he's measured. And like when he senses Obi-Wan's presence, he's like, "Oh, I think bloody Obi-Wan's here." Ooh, ooh, ooh. You know, he's not that interested, and I think this show does a good job of explaining that. Okay, let's talk about the elephant in the room. There's probably a Star Wars pun I can make there, but I can't be bothered to think of one. Reva, a very controversial character for reasons I don't really get. Like, when it all started and everyone was hating on her, I didn't really understand people's problem with her. I had no problem with her. I found her inoffensive and fine. You know, it kind of flew under the radar for me, and I didn't think much of it, and I still don't really understand the hate. And as the show progressed, I actually found her a really interesting character because she's different from all of the other Inquisitors, and she's different from all the other Siths, and she's different from all the other Jedi. She's like a new kind of thing here, which we haven't had in live action at least, of just kind of a dark Jedi who wants to do good but uses the dark side of the Force and goes around it the wrong way. And I think all of that worked really well. I enjoyed I know people are gonna make fun of the Owen versus Reva fight, but I enjoyed that they gave Uncle Owen something to do because he's a great actor, and I enjoyed seeing more of Aunt Beru as well. And I think it all worked, and just her shame in that last episode saying I couldn't do it. I think her character was really interesting, and I enjoyed it, if we're being completely honest with each other, which I feel like I can be. I feel like I can be open with you guys. And I feel like the only other character that's worth talking about at all is Princess Leia, and that young girl, I don't know her name, she was just excellent. She really embodied a Carrie Fisher energy, but in a younger form, and I think her ingenuity within the script and the things she was given to do, I think that character worked brilliantly, and really, for me, was probably the standout of the show, because I think the execution of that young Leia character was flawless. I mean, there was that goofy chase, but that's you know, that's the storyboarders' fault, or whatever, okay? You know? And I'm kind of a fan about the fact that none of the other characters in this show really stood out. You know, all the rebel people and the other Inquisitors. I'm glad they didn't have a lot to do, because that gave us more time to focus on Obi-Wan and Darth Vader. And, you know, Reva as well. But people were saying, "Oh, this isn't even the Obi-Wan Kenobi show, it's the Reva show." No, it's not. When she had very little to do for most of the show, so please, be quiet. So, you know, I'm glad that they didn't have loads to do, but they were interesting enough. They were inoffensive once again. I'm a little disappointed we only got Qui-Gon at the very end, because I love Liam Neeson, and Qui-Gon's my favourite Jedi, and I would have loved to see more of him. And to be honest, before this show came out, I didn't want a season 2, but now I'm open to one. Why not? Give me more Liam Neeson. Shove him in the interviews. That would be really great to see, because Liam Neeson and Qui-Gon are great. Anything else to say about the show? Action was cool. I enjoyed the lightsaber stuff. The lightsaber duels worked really well, and I enjoyed how bright they were and how much they lit up faces. Like when Darth Vader's mask split and his face was going from blue to red, I thought that looked really cool. And overall, the show did look good. The volume was used good again. There was not really any moments of dodgy CGI that I can think of, apart from de-aged Hayden, de-aged Anakin. I thought that was a bit spotty. I would have liked to see more flashbacks, but once again, that is just filler, and the show did fine without that. I gave this show 3.5 out of 5 on Letterboxd. If you want to read my full review, I basically said all of it here. So there's no point to do that. But if you want to hear more of me talking, please subscribe to this channel. Please leave a nice big like or a normal size like. I'll leave that up to you. And comment down below about why my Star Wars opinions are wrong, because I know you will anyway. Anyway, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.